producer and editor Danny Kaminsky. Actor Joshua Zarr, actress Emma Bates, Nick Kocher, Brian McElhaney, Spencer Treat Clark, Ashley Johnson, Tom Lake, Julian Modesi, Frank France, Clark Craig, Nathan Fillion, Amy Acker, Alexis Darisoff, and Joss Whedon. So, first of all, welcome everybody to South by Southwest. If some of you have been paying attention on Twitter or Instagram, several of the people here came to Austin via bus ride all night from Los Angeles to Austin. They pretty much could do a panel here at the Interactive Festival on how to do Vine well, because they did a whole bunch of really great Vine sketches, so you should check all that out. I have to say that bus ride really did feel like it was in the spirit of how this all came together in the first place, because it was just all of you kind of piled together having a good time. Was that how it was for you guys?
Absolutely, there was no drinking. That's weird. We didn't bring that up. That's strange to harp on that. It was. The reason we made the film, in large part, was so that I could hang out with all of these people, and I keep using these festivals to sort of keep that going. It's the product of an ensemble as much as anything I've ever done. So
we're still drunk from the shoot.
Joss, I know that one of the reasons that Much Ado About Nothing suited what you wanted to do because it's all one location. But what is it about the play itself that really appeals to you and really made you want to?
I didn't understand any of that stuff. It's a very sort of cynically romantic text about love and how we behave in love and how we're expected to and how much we're manipulated, and that to me was an end that I'd never seen in any of the productions. It's always very joyful and fun and sun-dappled, and I've thought, well, it's a party, there's fun, but there's something darker sort of at the heart of it as well. To have those two things to play with at once began to fascinate me.
It's also quite modern. I feel like Beatrice is one of the most modern of Shakespeare's women. That, If I Were a Man speech especially just is really terrific. Was that also part of what sort of stuck out for you?
Every time I watch it, I'm amazed by it. Partially because of Amy, but also because it's just, but because he just says it. There's no couching it. It's just all out there, and it kind of shocks me.
So, for those of you who are not aware, the way this all came together, basically, Joss had a week vacation after you finished production on The Avengers, and rather than go to Italy with his wife, he decided to make this instead. And he did it at his home, that's his real home, over 12 days with about a month's preparation. Mm-hmm. So for everybody here on the cast, what was it like making a movie in Joss's house? You're in his bedrooms and his kids' bedrooms. What was that like?
I think the funniest part, I don't know if that's on, but was when you would come there the next day and you would see who hadn't been home. There was always you're not in their family. Asleep on couches.
Was it, Joss, was there any room that you didn't use in your house?
Yes, and I regret every single one. Should have written more scenes. I have cool rooms I didn't get to show.
Shakespeare you should have called him up.
Yeah, no, I tried. It's like he's avoiding me.
For the actress here, for Alexis and Amy, when you got this call that you were going to be making a movie at Joss's house, how did you sort of respond to that? How do you kind of prepare yourself for doing something so quickly that's so daunting?
Well, when Joss asks you to do anything, that you always say yes, and then worry about it afterwards. But honestly, there wasn't that much time to worry about it either, because he also said, "Oh, and by the way, we're doing it in a couple of weeks." So from then on, it was just, "Oh, start working on it." And I mean, you know, for sure, it was a labor of love, and there was a lot of love, but there was also a lot of labor. And that was kind of one of the fun things about it. You'd be shooting a scene and look over, and there's Clark walking around, learning his lines and preparing for the next one, and there's actors and on-set people moving furniture to get ready. I mean, it was just a constant hive of activity to get this thing done in the amount of time that we had.
Who here has done Shakespeare professionally before you did this film? Raise your hand. So pretty much everyone else has not done Shakespeare professionally before this film. For those who haven't, what was that like?
Intimidating, terrifying, frightening. I peed a little.
I peed a lot.
How did you guys sort of work through the process of learning your lines and talking about the play and sort of figuring out what you were going to be doing?
We got together in groups. Joss would find mornings or afternoons and put combinations of those characters together to talk through scenes and read through, and even sometimes in the room where we would shoot it and sometimes not. So you get a little chance to feel it out, and then we would do stuff on our own as well. Just, you know, with the time you had, you needed to go, and Amy and I would go off somewhere. Oh, let's figure out the balcony scene. That thing's not working. What do we do? And it was just, yeah, there was preparation when you could, and then of course Joss is, thankfully for us, he's a genius. So when you're on the set, you do your first take, and he says, "Yeah." And then he gives you a little note, and from there, it's just, everything flies.
Nathan, I had heard that you were maybe a little hesitant to sign on to do this in the first place.
I signed on right away. I tried to chicken out afterwards. And Joss calmed me down, says all those wonderful things that a director will say to a chicken-hearted actor. Talked me off the ledge and said, "And I don't have a replacement, so you have to do it." Thank God, by the way. Thank you very much for that.
And Clark, you had just come from shooting The Avengers with Joss to shooting this. So compare Avengers Joss to Much Ado About Nothing Joss.